few good reasons you should play the bass guitar. The bass is underrated because a lot of times it's simply not heard. There's not a ton of songs that start with super catchy bass riffs. Now there are several, I'll play here in a minute, but there's a lot where the bass is kind of just in the background. And in life and in a band, it makes a difference that a lot of people don't like being the background person. But I would say the bass player has one of the most important jobs in the band, and it's actually one of the most versatile. This is a 1996 Fender P Bass. Picked it up at a pawn shop like 3 miles down the road from here. They had a price in there of like $700 for it, which would be in the ballpark of what it's worth. Somehow I walked out the door with this bass guitar about 10 years ago for 350 bucks. Kind of has this very 1996 paint scheme pickup guard deal, but it's a pretty rad guitar. A bass player is always going to be in high demand. In other words, a bass player is always going to have work. A bass player will be a working musician. You don't have to be flashy. You just have to find the pocket, stay in the pocket, follow the band, show up on time, and you will always have work. Now, admittedly, when it came along to play guitar, of course I picked up an electric guitar. I pictured shredding and solos, and here 20 some years later, I'm not shredding or playing solos. And I already had a background in drums. Bass would have probably been a better option for me. Now, I did like songwriting, so that's where the guitar made sense for me. But if I wasn't a songwriter or a song singer, leader, I should have probably picked up bass. Now there was a couple songs, a handful of songs that got me thinking about or enjoying the role of the bass guitar. One was from a band I listened to, I still listen to, but the songs came out kind of in the mid-90s. A punk rock band called MXPX did a song called Chick Magnet, and it had this cool little swing beat and a swing riff like this. Simple little, but man, when I learned that, I was hooked, and I learned, of course, on electric guitar, but it was on bass. I remember, once again, mid to late 90s, finally picking up from a Kmart a Dave Matthews Band CD, and the song Crush was on there, and the bass line from Crush just did it for me, and just smooth, and the drumming is super tight, and that got me into Dave Matthews Band. Another one is from a band that is amazing on super tight but simple drums, and I wouldn't say simple bass lines, but the band Sublime. The band Sublime, another 90s band that was kind of short-lived and then carried on with the original drummer and bass player and a guy named Rome. And Sublime had just some great tight bass lines that are above my play grade. And there was one that I don't know if it's played on a guitar or bass. I think it's April 26, 1992. And the bass line on that one, or the guitar line, but we'll call it a bass line, is just super catchy, and it's more like a kind of a rock or groove riff. Probably an original record played on guitar, but for today's purposes, played on bass. And the bass kind of shines in these moments. So in those few opportunities where the bass guitar takes the lead, it takes the center stage, it just kind of pops, and the warmth of it is awesome. And when it is coupled with an in-sync tight drummer, the bass is a beautiful thing. Another great kind of hip-hop bass line that was played on the upright bass, or the double bass as they call it, was from a tribe called Quest's famous song, Can I Kick It? And the bass line on this is just so simple, but so cool. And when it's in sync with that simple little drum groove, it just works. Some of my favorite bass players that I did not mention are Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, whose bass playing is among the best in the world. And here he is in popular rock, funk, alternative music today. This guy's been around for like 30 years. Flea is the man. Check out bass. Hope you enjoyed this video. If so, give us a like, hit a subscribe. Look forward to talking music with you soon in another video.